Okay, here's the spreadsheet that we have built. Again, thanks to Ed and Patricia at Sailing Joy. They sell basically a spreadsheet that has all the various supplies and items on it, and we bought that from them for I think it was €10 or something, and then we've heavily modified it then to suit our needs. But I'll take you through what we did, and as you can see, there's a fair bit of money that we're spending. That is one of the lessons of buying a boat, that you buy a brand new boat and you've probably got to allow for up to about 20% additional costs in adding all of the other things you want. Now, of course, that can vary from 5% to 20% depending on how many things you want to add to the boat. But in our case, we've added quite a bit. And we've broadly broken it down into safety equipment, items for the galley, electrical and cleaning, for the bathroom, spare parts, major aftermarket installations, and so on. So what did we do? So firstly, looking at safety equipment, we've added a lot of other items on there. I'm not going to go through every item, but just talk through the concepts of what we did. So, for example, we swapped out the anchor, which we'll keep as a spare, but we've chosen to go with 100 metres rather than the 60 or 70 metres that comes standard with the boat. We've gone for Chromox 316 stainless steel chain, 10mm chain, and an ultra anchor, which from various reviews that have been done, Sailing Fair Isle did a really good review, and a couple of others did reviews of the anchors, so we've gone with the ultra anchor. Nothing better than knowing you can sleep well at night on a good anchor. So we've added, we're going to a bigger anchor, putting on a radar reflector. We looked a lot into putting in a proper radar reflector so that people can see you at night. What we hadn't realised is that if you're a big container ship, it's very hard to see on a radar a small catamaran, particularly one made out of fiberglass. So an Icamax radar reflector we're adding. Of course, all the courtesy flags that you need for the various countries. Some additional mooring lines. We've also opted to go very fancy and get some Fendertex fenders. They take up less room. They're much lighter, much easier for people to carry around. Some 2 reels of Dyneema flat rope, so that we can have them set up for stern tying when we are in a bay and need to stern tie in to rocks, etc. But a whole bunch of different mooring equipment, various safety equipment that we're adding on, the life rafts that we've purchased, life jackets. All of those things that you need to be safe when out there. Additional spare jerry cans, binoculars, the list goes on and on. So lots of things for safety. And you can see each of these are separate items that we've ordered. You'll see in most cases we're getting them from UShip. We're tracking different places that we're buying them from. Some of the things we'll just go to individual shops and purchase. We've also decided to get an air buddy. An air buddy is a little, generically called a hooker. So it's a little pump that floats on the water and a breathing unit so that you can dive underneath the hull. You can go down to about 10 metres of depth, but it allows you to stay underwater for about an hour. Really useful if you're doing some work on the hull, if you needed to remove some line around your prop, or just simply to give the hull a clean. Having a clean hull makes a big difference in the boat speed. It can mean a difference of a knot or two, and when a boat only goes 6 or 7 knots, 1 or 2 knots is a big percentage improvement. So we've got an air buddy, and that comes from a company in Australia actually. So we've got lots of different things here from a mooring, a safety equipment perspective. We've even gone with getting a very small defib unit. Defib units you can now get for about $500-600. They're amazing. They're again a company in Australia, but they sell them throughout Europe. Look, it's essential. We're not young, and so you never know whether you need it or the boat next to you needs it. But for that sort of cost, you really can't go away from it. So lots of safety equipment. Anne-Lill is sort of focusing more on the interiors. So we're getting a lot of the stuff for the kitchen from a company called MS Nautique, who are in La Rochelle. Particularly some of the Silwy drinkware and plates that have got little magnets so they don't fall off. But also just a bunch of stuff from IKEA. Everything you need for the galley. Because literally the boat arrives and there is absolutely nothing on it. So it is a brand new house, and it's not like you're moving from another house. We still have our apartment in Australia. You can't just ship everything across to France. It would be many hundreds of kilos of equipment. As it is, we're bringing about 120 kilos of stuff in our suitcases, but that's just going through normal check-in luggage. So lots of things for the galley, all the standard things you could think of for kitchen. Everything that you would need for a laundry. We're doing some other things like we've ordered a mattress topper for our main bed. The mattresses on production catamarans are reasonably comfortable, but as you get older, you look for a bit more comfort. And if we're going to be spending 7 months on the boat, we want it to be very comfortable. So we ordered a mattress topper from Victoria Yachting. We met them at Cannes Boat Show. And we've ordered from them sheets, towels, the mattress topper, which is custom made to fit our shape of bed. Most beds on boats are a weird shape. They're all specifically made for that brand of boat. So you need to get a topper made to fit that. But other than that, all of the normal doonas, pillows, sheets, mattresses, all of that stuff we're getting mostly from Victoria Yachting, and some of it from local suppliers. What else? Lots of computer equipment. We certainly want our boat to be pretty high-tech in terms of everything being connected electronically. If we can even get it to be Alexa controlled, but we don't know if that's going to be possible yet. Certainly putting Starlink on, that's a necessity, not just from being connected, but from a safety point of view. So Starlink will get put on there. TV, printer, so that you can print papers out when you're going through customs. Items for cleaning, vacuum cleaners, etc. All the various appliances for your kitchen, which we'll mostly get from Darty, which is electrical wholesaler in La Rochelle, and they're all over France. So most of the coffee machines, the kettle, the toasters, Magimix, all of those sorts of things we'll get from Darty. We're doing a bunch of aftermarket items, and again we've listed all of those. We are adding on another 1,200 kilowatts of solar panels, so we're getting an extra frame built at the back, which we'll show you. With solar, we are moving across to lithium, so we'll end up with 1,500 amp hours of lithium batteries instead of the factory supplied 780 amp hours of gel batteries. You can never have enough batteries, and you can never have enough solar. We may add more solar later, but we'll see how we go. Getting a bigger Victron inverter, so 5,000 watt inverter, and a bunch of stuff to make sure that we can see everything at our chart plotter. So connecting the engines into our chart plotter, so we can see the engine performance and engine issues rather than just from the little display unit that comes with. Larger chart plotters, just to make it again a bit easier to see everything. Servo GX, so that we can better monitor our power. Of course, all our lithium installation, and a bunch of other things. We decided to put on FlexiTeak because we think it's going to be easier to clean and for the boat to stay looking clean. So that's being done in La Rochelle, as well as the frame for all of the solar that's going to be put on the back of the boat. We are going with the standard sail plan, including our Code Zero from Bali. But after seeing a bunch of other sailing channels using spinnakers and parasailers, particularly, who was it? The parasail that we saw used by Let's Dance, which is another sailing channel. So if you haven't seen them, have a look at them. They had a parasail. It's from a German, literally is the brand Parasail, and that gives us a symmetrical spinnaker, so that for downwind light sailing, it's fantastic. We hope. So we've ordered that. Curtains, carpets, we're getting done from locally, and again we've got all of this loaded in our spreadsheet. For leisure and electrical, we're getting extra little folding seats. We've ordered standard paddle boards, electric bikes so that we can get around town, camera equipment, of course, fishing equipment. There is a lot that goes into stocking a boat. We've ordered a tender, so we didn't get the one directly from Bali, but we've got a Highfield CL340 from, again, a local supplier in La Rochelle, Pretty Nautique. So they will build the whole thing, assemble the whole thing, and then deliver it directly to the back of our boat. So nothing substantial different there, but we can have all the little optional extras added to it that we really like. So a little pop-up bimini so we don't get cooked when we're out in the sun, a ladder to make it get easier out of the water if you're swimming around. Lots of spares for all of the engines, spare propeller for the outboard because that will break in a couple of years. Of course, all the various oils and so on that you need. Tender, spare parts, a lot more spare parts. Again, spare parts for the engines, but also servicing kits for the winches, for the water maker, for the heads, the toilets. They all need spare parts kits, and at some point they will need to be serviced over the following year or two. And then lots of different items that you need to keep the boat polished, etc. We're getting the boat polished in La Rochelle with a product called Permanon. We thought we will do that while the boat is new and the gel coat is all nice and shiny and clean, rather than waiting until the end of the season and then having to get it all cut back and cleaned and then resurfaced. We thought it was easy to do it then. But lots of spare lines, shackles, halyard blocks, all the things, sail tape, all the things that you might need to fix things on the go. Lots of different apps, electronic charts that we need to get. And we've also installed an app for our phones and browser called Yacht Wave to allow us to log everything we purchase, when everything's due to be serviced, what has been serviced. So I found that through the App Store, but it's also full cloud product as well. Comes out of the US. Fantastic product, support's been fantastic. So Yacht Wave is the one that we're using, but we're doing other things to connect electronically. We're upgrading our Raymarine to Yacht Sense, which allows all our Raymarine systems to be seen through the cloud, so we can be sitting in a restaurant in the harbour and look at our chart plotter and see exactly what the boat's doing, even to the point where we can see if there's a bilge alarm going off. We could switch on a bilge pump. All of those things can be done through Yacht Sense, which is an additional item that is installed, connected to the Raymarine system. So that's what we're doing in terms of planning. This spreadsheet has been our Bible on all the things we've got to order, what's arrived, what the cost of everything was, it is important that you keep a track of the cost of items, because in some countries they will ask for a boat manifest. Of course, you need it for insurance anyway, but in some countries, particularly some of the African countries you go to, they will require a manifest of the items that you have on the boat, so they don't charge you import duties or export duties when you leave with those items on the boat. So having that list is really essential. Of course, it's important for insurance anyway, but yes, having that manifest is important, and there's no better time to create that manifest than as you're buying stuff. And that way you can also remember where you bought it from, what the warranty is on that item, who you go back to if something goes wrong with it, etc. So that's why we have our super tip spreadsheet, and we track scarily the final cost of everything, so that we can cry a little bit when we see our bank account balance a bit low. So that's it for our spreadsheet. If you've got any questions on it, feel free to reach out and ask.